This desert reveals itself to you slowly. It will reveal giant chunks all at once. But then they'll be different the next time. A place where a bunch of different environments butt up against each other and slightly overlap.
National Monument. Governor Joe Lombardo remains a critic.
It is the beginning of our traditional songs that Native nations throughout the Southwest hold sacred.
And its value is destroyed with development.
Well, Avi Kwa Ame is an area that has always been here. Mojaves have a tie to the Avi Kwa Ame because it is our creation story here at Avi Kwa Ame. And the Mojaves were placed here to take care of the land and the water. Our traditional name is Aha Makab, which means people who live by the river. And we were placed here to take care of the land and the water. It's just a spiritual place. Our creation was here in this area. Our people existed here. We lived here amongst the mountains and canyons and plants and animals and the bighorn sheep. The petroglyphs that were left on the mountains and on the rocks, it was a message that they created to be here forever, to show their existence. But there was a few years ago, there was graffiti on the petroglyphs. So that was, heartbreaking, because that was a piece of history that will never be replaced. It can be cleaned up. It can be, well, they can try to clean it up, but it will never be the same. So it was damaged. It was damaged, and that was hurtful. That was hurtful. This area, for many years, we didn't want to talk about it. We didn't believe we should talk about it because we didn't want it to advertise it to the world, because we wanted to keep it preserved. But over the years, we've had people coming out, they're visiting now. We've had damage done to the rocks. People actually come and try to chip away at them so they can take them home. So we needed to preserve it. We needed to save it. The elders were concerned. They were showing their concerns. And so that's why we started talking about it. And of course, we knew we had to fight because we needed to protect this area. National Monument for Avi Kwa Ame.
Yeah, around 1997 is when we started the consultation process. 1999 is when we actually got official notification that this was designated as a traditional cultural property and on the National Register of Historic Places. Now that was a good starting point. It obviously wasn't a finishing point because the tribes wanted to see recognition of that larger associated landscape. The monument itself, I always call it like the connective tissue. This is the area that connects the Mojave Desert to the Colorado Plateau, to Lake Mead National Recreation Area. As we look at climate change and changes in temperature and rainfall regimes that species have, a larger connected. We know that, for example, Joshua trees will probably move up in elevation. As we look at the impacts of climate change, this particular monument will be very important in evaluating some elements of climate change. When any renewable energy company is looking at a map of a state like Nevada, they look at every area that does not already have protected prescriptions. And it happened that about 60,000 acres of this monument, that was in that period around 2012 and such. And so we had to bring in the best science we had available and get people engaged in that discussion.
As a Searchlight resident, I've for years been a part of the fight against some development projects like large-scale wind projects that have been proposed for the area. And so when those large-scale developments came in with proposals from other states or other countries, people who did not understand this landscape at all, and they were finding little pockets right next to the protected lands that they wanted to do huge developments in, that became a real issue for our town.
We're not against renewable energy. We know that we probably need to have this, but it was the area where they were wanting to do it, and this area was not.
It was a big fight to get BLM to back off on that, and to their credit, they did. They realized that, hey, there's plenty of places we can develop renewable energy, and we're working toward that end. So the tribal chair introduces, and President Biden, and President Biden starts talking about things he wants to done. Top on his list was the designation of the Avi Kwa Ame and signing the presidential proclamation.
I just know it as Spirit Mountain.
So in that event, he signed that proclamation, which put it in stone.
We understand that we were going to get, backlash from certain organizations, certain companies, and the governor.
Governor Joe Lombardo remains a critic, saying it's going to cost our state jobs and economic opportunity, all while making land more expensive and more difficult to develop.
It was absolutely disappointing because I don't think, this is my own thing, I don't think he was adequately briefed on that, or the people briefing didn't give the details of how this whole proposal came forward and how the communities and the local units of government, it wasn't a Democrat or Republican thing. And to have him just take a pot shot at that without knowing what went into that process, because the intent to designate this was known before he took office.
Even in the government of the United States, people come and go. In state governments, people come and go. But the Mojaves are here. We've always been here. We'll always be here. And we'll always fight for the area. I'm not sure if I want to welcome people to Avi Kwa Ame, because I feel that it should be preserved and it should be held at the highest level of protection and sacredness. It's just like, many of the churches in the different areas, there's always that chance of destruction and violence, or just vandalism and graffiti and place that would be hurtful, that could, never be replaced or repaired.
If no one's here and no one comes up here and visits us, then there's more likely that to happen than not. To me, I always believe that if you want to protect things, get the community involved and get more eyes on it.
I appreciate people coming, but again, it's maybe learning to them that this place is special to the Mojave people. And somehow we need to just get that message out. We're willing to share, but you just need to help us take care of it.
What's the next goal?
Well, if they want to give it back to the tribe, then we could protect it ourselves. That area that was taken from us years ago, when we were moved onto our reservation, give us our area back.